You're listening to Flux Yeah, podcast with Stellar Rogue and Major Thrillz. Are you ready?
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming to the Flux Yeah podcast. It is I'm so grateful that you guys were able to make it.
Yeah.
And that you guys were roomed next
I know
to
you guys had to travel so far to be here. We appreciate that.
How long was your flight?
It's generally about 24 hours since we leave home till we get to LA. So it takes a while.
So when you the pieces that you brought to the AVNs, for the high value of them, how do you get them here?
Well, the pieces that we have now have been in America for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've come in, and they're art pieces. So like when you bring them into the States, like they're exempt because they're art pieces. So yeah, they're not a product, they're art.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, but they do have monetary value, though.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's.
But like the whole art world, when you bring an artwork in that's proven to be an artwork, it crosses fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's fantastic. So, you brought a pice today.
I did.
Oh well, here my apologies. I'm already skipping ahead. Introduce yourself.
He's getting so flustered.
We're just so excited.
Yeah, we're very excited. It's just there's an overall ebb and flow that we're still learning throughout the entire podcast situation.
Sure.
But introduce yourself and tell us, what brought you guys here.
Okay. My name's Colin Burn. I make contemporary art. So I've trodden into the erotic art. So I create some of the world's most valuable erotic art pieces.
Okay.
The reason I do that is that I want to express the value of sexuality. So my work, the reason it's so valuable and expensive is because I want to transfer that into the fact that sexuality is valuable. So that's the metaphor. So they're like trophies to the erotic. So they have many different pieces that mean something to me when I created them. So yeah, that's how it all come to be.
How long have you been in this fashion of making art pieces?
20 years.
20 years.
And have they always been of a sexual nature, or is this kind of your first go around?
Not always been of a sexual nature. Like a lot of my work is not sexual, but 20 years ago, yes, I started in this sexual genre.
Okay.
And that was in Japan. So I was doing a lot of business in Japan, traditional jewelry making business. And I noticed that they have element of that kind of erotic sense. So that's where I felt that would work really well. And I started making erotic pieces for Japan.
Well, you did
back in 2005.
Well, you made a piece for the Japanese government as a gift.
Yeah,
from Australia.
really? Sure.
Yeah. It wasn't a dildo.
Well,
just to be clear.
Funny.
One time they got fucked themselves, So.
funny story. In our country, we have these export development grants. Like if you spend money yourself, overseas to export product, they will give you 50% of the money back. So you have to claim to see if you're eligible for the grant. So I claimed, and it was so I'd have to say I'm the only one that's ever received a grant for dildos. So the Australian government paid me 50% of my marketing costs for selling dildos in Japan. And not only that, they actually provided me with staff that took me to adult venues.
I love Australia already. Australia, can you adopt me? I'm looking for a new country.
That's what
because
we do down there.
how I got them, when I first put it forward, I thought, they're not going to see this. And I said, well, you can't discriminate. We've got anti-discrimination laws in Australia. It's a legal product. You cannot discriminate. They went, no, we can't. You're eligible. Just as a winemaker would be, selling wine and Australian wine to Japan. I was selling Australian dildos to Japan. So the government supported me. And they gave me people in Japan that took me to sites. They took me to BDSM clubs, gay bars, you name it. We saw all sorts of wonderful shows.
Oh my.
Yeah, and that was my start in the whole world. I thought, I like this business. I'm going to keep making this art.
So what was the first piece, and what inspired you for the making of that first piece?
Yeah, from all those grants.
You still have that
Excuse
piece,
me,
don't you?
that's right. Hey?
You still have that piece.
Yeah.
I've seen that, yeah.
Excuse me. I've got various pieces from the first pieces that I was actually making at that time, and they're pretty raw. They're not like they are now.
Right.
But they were luxurious for the time. Like when I was doing that, brands like Jimmy Jane or Lalo or all these big brands we now have seen as sort of sexual luxury were not around. So I was sort of cutting new ground. There was no such thing as a luxury sex product in the market. They're all just plastic dildos.
Right.
Or plastic vibrators and silicon dildos. So I was kind of ahead of the game in doing that. And I had a choice. Do I go the commercial route or do I go the artistic route? Right. And I went the artistic route. Yeah, so a lot of those brands went on to become, synonymous with luxury sex toys. I didn't really want to do that on a commercial sense. I really wanted to develop my art.
Got it.
So I went down more artistic path, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and when you went down then they're just conversation pieces. Now, how many of them are functional?
I guess they all are, but...
I would like to be the test of that.
Well, anything's a dildo if you're brave enough,
Everything is functional.
Okay. All right.
Anything's a dildo if you try hard enough, right?
Enough lube and willpower.
It's the human condition for sure.
Got to look in the eyes first. That's all.
Yeah.
He's always got to go there.
Reminds me of Seven.
You can fit 7?
No, there was a scene in the movie Seven that was pretty brutal. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my products could be brutal.
Exactly.
No, when I make them, they're symbolic. So they're really made as an artwork, really. So I'm symbolising various different experiences over my lifetime in each piece. But the overarching concept of it is to value sexuality. So it's really about making people aware that value within sex, like, because quite often in our world we tend to degrade sexual activity rather than enhance it.
Yeah.
So I went the other way. I wanted to push against the grain. Being an artist, I wanted to go the other way, and I want to make something so valuable you can't degrade it.
Right.
Oh wow,
and it really
I love
rubbed
that.
people the wrong way.
Yeah.
They're like, and it was the more I did that, the more I wanted to do that.
That's
And
and
it made people feel uncomfortable, and that's what art should do.
Sure.
It should disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed.
Yeah.
So that's my sort of concept with art.
Yeah.
And so I just kept developing each different piece that I made, had a different theme and a story. And I won't make an artwork that doesn't have story. I'm not into making decorative pieces. I'm into making something with real philosophy and real story.
So, any of your pieces have any inspiration, like any individuals that have inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, the one piece that I made, like talking about Japan, a Japanese artist called Hokusai, he had a piece, several artworks, but one of the pieces he did was called The Dream of the Fisherman's Wife, which was 2 octopus making love to a Japanese pearl diver. And it's very famous in Japan. It's mythical, and so I wanted to pay homage to that. So I created a piece called Hokusai Dreaming, which might be, I'm not sure it today, the octopus.
Saw that, yes.
So that piece was, based on that whole concept. So
would you say that was your most expensive purchased piece, or do you have a piece that was purchased that was like your top sell ever?
It's not the most expensive, but it's probably the most personal for me. Like that piece is probably the least expensive, to be honest, because it's basically gold set with pearls, like small pearls, and a few little diamonds in the eyes. But it has a lot of personal value to me. Probably the most valuable piece to me out of the whole collection, purely because of my time in Japan that I spent my life there and back and forth from Japan to Australia. But the most expensive is the Pearl Royale. I created that piece because, again, pushing this envelope of what to truly look at the whole sexual environment and say it's valuable to humanity. So I wanted to make a piece so it had to be regal. So I started thinking these things of like kings and queens and sapphires and diamonds and platinum. So I created the Pearl Royale, which has become the most expensive vibrator in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. And they all vibrate.
They do. Yeah,
What?
No.
no. Oh, sorry.
If you shake them enough.
This one does.
This one
It's
does.
only one. I didn't really want to get into vibrators because vibrators are very
Makes you
modern.
vibrate when you hold it. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
god. Don't drop it.
The vibrator has electronics and movements and things that are modern. I wanted to make my work more traditional, old school. So that's where the dildo works better.
Got it.
So it could be something from, mythology or something from the past.
Right.
So a lot of my works are based on past ideology and thinking and stuff like that.
Got it.
So the pearl rail, but when I did that, I thought, because I had this concept of putting a South Sea pearl into a key that you could wear as a necklace, and that key could then turn it on.
Ooh.
So that's how I made it. I made it so the key turns to the key to pleasure.
Wow.
That whole concept. And
that's
so
hot.
Yeah. So 70 carats. 70 carats of diamonds and sapphires later, we've got a piece called the Pearl Rail.
So you brought a piece with you today.
That's it. I've actually bought it with me.
Can we see it?
I'll put the gloves on. It's it took a long time. Like I first drew this hand drew it in 2008. It wasn't until 2018 that I actually made it. So it was a 10-year journey to actually create it.
Wow.
Didn't Forbes feature it when it was
gorgeous. It's truly gorgeous.
Thank you.
Let me bring one of these cameras closer.
It does sparkle metal with an LED
It
light.
really does sparkle.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
we go. Well, like all diamonds, I love light to make them sparkle. Pink diamonds, sapphires, salon blue sapphires,
And all the diamonds
and
are
beautiful white
flush.
diamonds, 71 carats of white diamonds.
71 carats.
And the South Sea pearl, which is really personal to me. My son was a pearl diver. I lived in a town called Broome in Western Australia that produces the best pearls in the world.
Wow.
For the biggest brands like Harry Winston and Tiffany and everybody that buys their pearls, they all come from Western Australia. And so my son was actually a pearl diver at the time I made this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of unique in that respect.
People always ask me whether it's rough, but you made it like flush, right?
I mean, you feel the surface of it.
Oh, wow. I can put that in my pussy. I'm not scared anymore.
You're just never getting it back.
Yeah.
The price has gone up.
Listen, diamonds are forever. Get your girl on diamonds in that caliber, and she'll never leave you.
At least I put a ring on it. That's what you meant, though.
Yeah.
But they're set very well. Like I flush set the diamonds, so they're quite smooth. And it's been on many different forms of media, from Forbes to major media that's covered it. And some of the comments that come back are quite funny to listen to, and some of them are like, what would happen if you lost the diamond? I'm thinking, well, imagine the fun you'd have finding it.
Exactly.
They're very well set. Nothing will fall out. So, yeah.
It's
But again, I didn't make it really to be a functional product. It's kind of like a symbolic art piece.
100%.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But the conversation it sparks has been amazing from all sides.
That's the whole concept. Like art should create conversation, and that's why I do what I do. And likewise with Aaron. I mean, Aaron's work. We've been working together now for about 8 years, and
Was it jumped to 8? Oh Jesus.
yeah. Getting older.
How'd you guys meet?
Oh, well, you can tell the story if you want. You start doing that.
Well, basically, I'd come to America with a lot of the pieces I'd made, and I wanted to get them into galleries. So I went on a bit of a tour around America, and I went to LA and then Vegas, Miami, and then on to New York. And there was a gallery in Miami that was very interested. So basically said, yep, done deal. Let's get your work into the galleries. Then I come home, and the photography that I'd had on my pieces was pretty bad. It wasn't. The pieces were beautiful, but the photography was terrible. So I heard about this guy, and we connected immediately when I showed him my work, and he understood half the stories of like the Hokusai piece, and so we just become instant best friends. And
We'll start drinking whiskey.
we were drinking. We were mad shit.
We got hammered.
We
That's
did
so
it.
funny.
He's like, oh, let me bring it over so like you should shoot tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, why not? Bring it
Let's
up.
go.
That's fun.
So that's how it kind of started. But then the gallery said, look, your photography's shit. I go, yeah, I know that. I've got a new photographer. No, we want you to use ours. And I said, well, I don't know. I've just done a deal with this guy. And they were, no, you have to use ours. And I said, no, you go fuck off. I'm going to use my guy. So that's how we started. So I dropped the gallery. I was like, no, I'm doing this my way. I'm not going to follow your. When you make real art and you're authentic, you got to do it your way. This guy understood what I was doing, and so Aaron created artworks to reflect. I didn't tell him how to do it. Like the pearl, I was a bit horrified sometimes with some of the concepts, but like I said, I want you to reflect on this and then create a photographic artwork.
I think it was funny when we came in with a $2 torch first.
Oh, you mean, well, the actual shooting of the products. Like first we had to actually shoot the artworks. And he said, yeah, come around and we'll shoot the pieces. So I brought them all around. And we're going to this dingy, dark place. And I'm going, what the fuck? I've got this.
Studio was like an extra.
You're about to lose a very expensive dildo.
I'm looking over my shoulder going, what the fuck's happening?
No.
And all the lights go out and I go, oh yeah, here it comes.
Yeah.
And then this guy just with a torch, like a little $2 torch from a Home Depot, and he's like shining a light over it. And I'm going, oh, what have I signed up for? And he's like painting light and photographing it at the same time. And I'm sitting there going, oh, I've wasted my time here. And then I saw the computer screen. I thought, holy fuck. He was layering like all the images. Like he had a way of photographing them. You could see the whole 360 but in layers. And
It was a pain in the
blowing
ass.
my mind right here.
I was like, what the fuck? Okay, I don't mind the dark space now. I feel safe, And so that's how it started. And so
the main reason is because I saw his ugly mug in the reflection, and I was like, "How's that?"
So yeah. I mean, he done that shoot really well. But then I said, okay, you give me your experience of what that means to you. So then Aaron does erotic artworks. So he then portrayed that in his own way. And I thought, well, I could probably try and guide that or steer him. And I thought, that's not the right thing to do. It's his art.
Right.
I've got my art. You do your art.
Yeah.
So we did that. And the results were really amazing. Yeah. So maybe you can.
Well, you can say amazing. You said that's dark and weird. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's what he said at first.
Well, this one in particular.
Yeah.
Like I imagine, some sort of royal thing like you could generally go to, and he started having girls with cuts in them and stones coming out of the cuts and throats cut, and I'm going, oh, that's pretty dark.
Well, as a consequence of title, to get to that sort of state, there's a status symbol. So I started seeing what are the symbols of status. So it was like the cut of knowledge, which was across the abdomen, which was mainly the symbol of study and doctrine, becoming the doctor. Then there was a cut of faith, which was across the symbol where the spear went through. Then there was a cut of killing the king, and then there was a cut of sacrifice, which is the birth. So it was 4 symbols of that, and then it was the royal blue blood, which was because royalty used to consume a lot of silver in the silverware, so the blood would actually turn blue.
True story.
So it was all symbolism through that, but rather than being visceral, I wanted to use diamonds or diamantes to reflect the blood and the bone and things like that as well. So then it was the symbols of power. So that's why I was it's erotic power. That's where it came from.
That's beautiful. Just the thought process that went inside of it.
Yeah.
I'm
coming in there expecting just lovely naked ladies and just your typical, I get this maniac, but I love him because his mind's like mine.
Yeah, he's just as crazy. I was going to say he's just as crazy as you are.
Oh, we're touching a nerve here. This is really special.
Well, we're doing the one with the Jin Long, which is the opium dens of China and the sexual revolution of China.
Yeah.
So it was the belly of the dragon was powerful about that. So we ended up getting a taxidermist that had a tiger snake from Australia. So tiger snakes are a protected species, so you can't kill them. But this one was being donated to a museum, so we intercepted that, and then we got it, but it fit perfectly from the knife all the way down, and we placed it on the body. So the idea of showing your belly is to be fragile and to be vulnerable, and to be vulnerable is to be beautiful. So it's about showing the underbelly, so the whole piece is about that.
Wow.
But also something very powerful and dangerous at the same time as vulnerability. So there's that tandem and duality.
It's captivating.
Yeah. We went on a journey. Yeah. And then,
okay, how high were you?
Yeah.
The funny thing was not funny, but we come to America and we did an exhibition after we did all this great work.
We shot that in 6 weeks.
I know, we're on this go. We put it all down and we got to America, we did an exhibition in Beverly Hills. And then COVID hit. It was
all
go
the
home.
Artwork stayed over
all
here.
All the artwork was locked down in America. Couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
We couldn't come here for 3 years.
I ended up working on the gold mine.
And it was crazy. We just got, our state in Australia was the worst. I mean, the if I could use the word arseholes that run the state, they just shut us down. We couldn't move out of the state. We couldn't do anything. It was probably the worst place in the world to be. Wow. So when we were in that lockdown period, Aaron and I and Nicole, we got to work and we created Treasure the Erotic, which was the whole series of this, and we created a book. So many nights at Aaron's house, we'd sit up he doesn't start work till 2 a.m. I'm like the 7 a.m. guy. This is the Batman.
Yeah, I'm that guy too.
I finish at 9 a.m., go to bed, get the same. Yeah.
I'm going around to his house, and I didn't mind the red wine, so I was okay. So drinking copious amounts of red wine, writing all this poetic doctrine, and then he goes, it's 3 a.m. in the morning, let's go for a walk. So we walked through the city of Perth
I like going for walks.
at 3 a.m. during COVID. There was not a soul in sight. And like on a Saturday night, which was a nightlife area,
Right.
not one single person. It was the most eerie, weird feeling.
Well, the
to
cops
be-
started like tracing us. That was weird.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway,
It was strange. It was like sort of just dystopian times.
Yeah.
So we created. So part of all of that, we created this incredible artwork between us, and so once all that ended and the COVID thing did what it did.
We ended up getting called back to do the show at the private mansion. So.
Yeah, and then not long after that, we got an offer to come to Los Angeles to a private mansion in the hills and put the work on display for a luxury sex party or parties. So we did that.
Yeah.
And that was pretty wild.
Yeah, that sounds wild.
We've signed NDA, so we can't tell you who was at those parties.
Yeah. Well,
But
Will there be another party or?
well, I used to be the art director there for a while, so that's how I became to work in America. So we installed all our artwork there originally, and we were hosting events. We came over. We started doing. I did a full install in this mansion in the Hollywood Hills, and with another creative, quite well known, sex artist, like globally renowned. So we're like, okay, we'll do this. This will be amazing. And so we installed all of your pieces, all of my pieces, and then we started like really kind of shaping it into this very erotic experience. So from the time you get into the door, like it was opened in stages, like different consensual gates. So you'd be greeted by, say, someone doing fire play, and the next minute you're greeted by some big performance, and then you keep on getting unlocked until you to a certain sort of sensuality. And then it became like the lights would all turn red at midnight, and then it was like a big experience, you know.
Wow.
when they turned red, that was the signals to go,
Yeah.
and people could do
and
what
then
they
we
wanted to do.
then we headed
It's a
home,
good party.
and then before I left,
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, do you want to be our in-house art director?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So went back to Australia, got my visa, came back straight away, and then started being art director there for like 6 months. And then there was a bit of a change with management, and now Jerome owns the company, and I work with Jerome.
That
Amazing.
is awesome.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience. Like we really enjoyed that time as an experience.
Right.
For us as artists, it was the party scene was what it was, but what we were trying to bring to it was a level of erotic art and focus on that.
Yeah,
more
we're trying
than
to focus on like
side,
the sacred sensual, and
Sure.
really elevate it into a space that could be more about intimacy and connection, where real authenticity could flourish. But unfortunately, sometimes that's harder against to go with some people that are fighting
have
against
other
you.
ideas.
Yeah. But it was a good experimentation and
Yeah.
exploration, and we're currently trying to maybe make like multi-sensory exhibitions that give you that experience, but without the play party scene, but just more about the art, encompassing that and creating like what happened to you today, which you don't know about.
Yeah, but it was a continuous.
Yeah, we definitely want to find out more information about what happened with you today. So, I heard a little piece of it, and I can't wait to hear the full story.
So yeah, basically from that situation was a continuance of our art, and we've now evolved to like literally the last week we've just formed our own company here in America
Yeah.
called Rebellion Art House. So myself, Aaron, and Nicole, Nikki, have created this company, and it's basically about showing our work to the world of what we do, and we want to exhibit in Los Angeles, Miami, New York, and I mean Aaron at the moment he works with Illuma, which is what his visa's under with his photography. Eventually he'll be with us in that, but the whole idea of Rebellion Art House is to put on immersive exhibitions that really change the scope of how art's seen. We want people to feel art. A lot of galleries, they create the white wall experience so you focus on the art, but we want to immerse people deeply in the art. And we've seen that. We run gallery exhibitions in Australia ourselves with this work. And you're touching a nerve when you see people. Like we had one experience where one of the ladies at the exhibition was looking at one of Aaron's images and reading the story, and just tears rolling down the cheeks.
It was actually about the birth. And
and
things like that.
you just know that you're touching a nerve. Like that's when art is working.
I
So
thought
we
it was
want to
working when
make
found
art
people
like
fucking in the corner.
that.
That's what I was like, it's working.
Well, that's another one.
Yeah.
I was trying to keep it. Yeah.
So the fact that you touch on all of this in a very intimate sexual nature, is there something that gravitated you towards the sexual nature? Because you could make art about anything, so why sex?
He's a virgin.
Just have to,
That'll do it.
one day.
He's always been curious, you know.
One day. No, I think it's story. Like anything in life, I make art about everyday life. Like I've made a chess set, I've made a guitar strap, I've made all these different art pieces. But every time I make something, it's predominantly about bringing attention to something. So I want to shine a light on a subject that is often, like say with sexuality, I feel quite often it gets degraded. So I wanted to shine a positive light on it, and I wanted to create products of value so that people could see the value in it. And I use that same philosophy with other artworks. Like I created a chess set worth a lot of money. It's like more expensive than this. But the idea of that is that chess is a valuable game to the world. There's millions of people around the world playing chess in peace and harmony. So they go to battle, they don't kill each other. So that's, like we all go, we don't all go to, but countries go to war and kill each other. Whereas if we all played chess, it'd be a nicer world. So I saw that as, like the philosophy behind that is the value, so I made this piece to be valuable so that people could reflect on that. So every time I make an artwork, it's really just about myself looking at story and projecting that. Like, I just don't want to be a decorative artist. I don't want to paint a landscape.
Right.
I want to create an artwork that means something.
Right.
So that's for me. Everybody makes art however they want to make it. That's how I do it.
So you've crafted the chess set, and that's the latest project that you've done.
It's one of the. It's been made for a few years now, but it's one of my. It's probably my biggest piece that I've made.
So what's next?
Yeah.
I've got a whole series at the moment. I don't want to give away the whole theme to it,
Right.
but
Any type of
it's about
inspiration?
humanity.
Okay.
I'm working with, instead of gold and precious metals, I'm working with the copper. So copper is the most valuable metal on the planet.
Yeah.
It is, because it provides drinking water to the homes, it provides us electricity. So these are the noble metals, but copper is the everyday metal. So I want to create pieces using copper that define humanity. And a lot of my pieces have story.
Social commentary.
Social commentary, exactly. So I've got about 40 pieces that I will exhibit probably within the next 6 months. Yeah.
There's some things that we'll do in tandem, like as a group, and there's some things we go solo journeys as well, like some things that will complement him that I do, and the things that he'll do for me that complements my work, and we all share that sort of like.
So Aaron, let's talk about your work. How long have you been doing like photography and art like that?
Oh God, been doing photography for 17 years.
17 years?
Yeah, started off with doing fashion, beauty, and commercial work.
Okay.
Then I used to do I used to teach at university as well for a short while.
Oh, really? And
yeah.
you taught university like photography?
Yeah, so I was mainly concept development and preparation for industry. So
Okay.
I was brought back as an industry professional to do that for a while. Then I used to work at a cruise ship.
Okay.
Before that, I set up my own gallery. So I was a picture framer before that, and then I set up curating art, and then I set up a gallery. I used to have a lot of artists creating out there, painting the walls, doing like live shows and group shows, and then that shut down. Then I worked on a cruise ship for a year, teaching people how to like photograph like the northern lights and all that sort of stuff. And then I came back and I was like, I want to do something that's a bit more me.
Yeah.
So obviously meeting so many different people from around the world, like went to like 43 cities in 8 months on the ship, and met all different cultures and saw how people connect, and showed like the different types of love and connection, And when I started looking at like taboo things, like okay, what are things that are really like misconceived ideas or people have misconceptions towards, so like mainly like sexuality or taboo sort of practices, and one of those for me was shibari in particular, because I always saw it as something that was more about connection, intimacy, love, devotion, trust, and it was always photographed in dungeons or against graffiti or really out of place scenarios, right? And there's a lot of history behind it and a lot of culture behind it, and the West has taken it in different ways and and changed it in the ways it wanted to. And at the time, this was like 7 years ago, like I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this how I want to do it. So I took a group of people that I've worked with in the modeling scene, and I said, hey, I've got this idea. People I really trusted, and say, I want to take you guys from a journey from never being tied before to full suspensions. Would you want to experience this? So went to one of the biggest BDSM scenes at the time in Perth, Australia, and said, hey, like, who's the best rigger in town? Went through like 5 or 6 of them, found like so many red flags. And then met this one guy called Paul Kabinski, absolutely phenomenal. And up lines, everything, you name it, really good with consent, really good at everything. I was like, oh my God, he's fucking awesome. And he took me to meet this guy called Kanna, who was doing this live demonstration. This is the first time I saw like shibari done this way, in the traditional way. And on stage, he tied this woman beautifully in this tension rope, and it was flowing, it was moving around. And I was like, this is stunning. And then he basically made her pass out on stage and did this very like breath play with her. I was like, oh, I haven't seen that. And it was all these constant sparks of things I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, why is that something that people take pleasure in this or pleasure in that? And how is this healing, or how is this, having an effect on people neurochemically or physically and spiritually? So I was like, okay, how can I transcend that through photography? So I started looking at symbolism with like flowers, and then symbolism within say different body forms, and then took that through this journey that I did 2 years photographing, I think like 34 shoots with a whole team. And then we ended up doing an exhibition with the shibari work, and that's what kind of took off. And then after that, I met Colin, and so all the work that we've always done is about transcendence. Like, how do I show the beauty in something, or show the truth of something through the visual lens, or through semiotics like symbology, or giving new meanings to things, or showing things that people maybe haven't seen before in a different light. So stripping away things to the most minimal form and then building it back up again. So I did that with a series on needlework and needle play, which which is a very
absolutely phenomenal.
Which is a very visceral thing. And for me, my father,
very brave, the people that participated in the process.
Like my father was a type 1 diabetic, and he died when I was 7 years old. So for me, needles was always considered something very dangerous and nasty and pain driven. So I had this massive fear of needles. And then I saw this person doing this needle play at a party, and the woman's like in absolute bliss. And she saw her body as being beautiful and being this artwork. And I was like, what the fuck is going on there? So for me, if I don't know what's going on, I want to learn about it. I had this the mindset was very curious. I'm like, okay, how are people using this in a healing way? So I started meeting with them, interviewing people that were doing this stuff, and then I spoke with one of my models who was suffering from self-harm. And a lot of people that I've discussed with, I'm not going to speak for anyone, but the people I've spoken with, was that needle art was about connecting the mind back to the body. It was about connecting with getting out of disassociation, but also seeing yourself as something that's a body to be loved rather than hated, or to be, to hurt yourself. So people are suffering from cutting and whatnot. So within the right realm and the right people and the right practitioners, you could do these sort of practices that will help people through healing, through a form of practice of BDSM. I'm not saying it's a cure-all, but there was these things in place with people that were saying, hey, this is something that's helping me to see myself as beautiful. So I wanted to capture that. So for me, what was going to be symbolizing that is the chrysalis, the metamorphosis of a butterfly. So we had all these needles throughout the entire body, and I had them through myself first, because I'm not going to put someone through that if I haven't gone through it.
That was going to be my question. Did you ever participate?
I had them all through my arms and whatnot. And I hate needles, but for me, after I did it, I had this like big calm, like this big drop. I was like, oh, I get it. Like that fear is just all up here, and then getting through all that. But we put needles throughout the entire body, and then butterflies throughout the whole body as well.
Wow, that's
and
beautiful.
It was
He brought all the butterflies in from Paris, like these preserved, beautiful butterflies.
And my taxidermist,
and
she
the
had to
colours on
pump
them,
them all up, and there's hundreds of them.
Phenomenal.
And the series is like almost like 90% finished. There's still parts that I want to polish off.
So that's my money right now.
Serious.
Seriously.
Well, I got a microscope as well and photographed all the platelets of the wings.
Really?
He's got to do a coffee book this deep.
Well, the image I want to have is like, what's it? Is it parallax? No, it's not parallax. There's something else. Lenticular. So lenticular print. Many ones you like do this, and you can see two images. So it'll be one's the butterfly close-ups, and then as you turn it, you'll see the full nude, like that.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, that's a lot of my work's focusing on these things that are misunderstood.
Yeah, I love that. As somebody who has struggled with mental health in the past too, and just like disassociating, sometimes like pain or even like putting like that's why they say cold showers are really good if you're having panic attacks. It just brings you back into your body, and when you're back in your body, you're back in the present. So I can understand how that is very helpful.
It's so powerful watching it actually happen in the moment in front of you with someone. Even
and
just
the
photographing
strength
it.
too that you would have to go through for that.
So like all power to the person we had, Alex. Like we over the space of months, we were like
Parts of her body
drinking
was
lots of
needle,
water,
was like-
not doing it when you're on your period, making sure you're in the right headspace. And you know, if she came to it, she couldn't do it. We was like, no worries, let's just hang out and just eat cookies and talk shit.
I love
Great.
that.
You know, like
was so
we've got
cool.
the studio space. Let's just hang out.
Yeah.
And sometimes we shoot, sometimes we do Neils, sometimes we just hang out. It was really, really pleasant. And you know, having someone that would, you know, trust in the art to do that.
Yeah.
And she's got big
Well,
plans of it.
I
at
love
home
that
and-
you never like forced her into doing a lot of
No.
things, because like
God, no.
one thing that I prefer with like my like corn style of things is I never do anything I don't want to do.
Yep.
And I'm never going to shoot if I really don't want to
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people, they lose their sexuality because they're forcing themselves to be this like hypersexual person.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's important with art and beauty and creating things that you do it at like your own pace. And that includes being in the moment. And if the moment's not there, don't force it.
There was a really important premise on that as well. Like there's a lot of these series I want to do coming up, and I want to do chapter by chapter, kink by kink. Over might take me 10 years. I don't care, but I still want to do it.
Yeah.
And I've got people say, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to do that." I'm like, "No, is that actually your kink, or is this something you want to be? You want to be glamorized?
Yeah.
Because if you want to be glamorized, I don't want to shoot you because it's about my safety as well as yours.
Gotta be real.
Yeah.
You know, I want to make sure that I'm putting you in a situation where you are loving this.
Yeah.
And you know, and
Totally.
also
All
I
that
feel
consent,
safe and
authenticity.
comfortable putting you in that
Real.
situation too.
Yeah.
So it's like that's where kind of a lot of BDSM sort of ideals come into place with photography sometimes. It is about consent, it is about understanding, it is about communication, it is
Yeah.
about negotiation.
And
It's
yeah.
also about making sure that you feel safe in these environments and you have the right phrases to say, hey, I want to be out of the situation right now.
Yeah.
So it's about all those sort of key ideals go into creating these things into what you do. So yeah.
So I just love how methodical that you put so much intelligence into each thing that you've done, and I'm praising you. Like I want to know more. I want to learn more, and I think a lot of people can learn from you, from what you have actually said. Is like, you know, going out of your way to like make sure that other people are more comfortable in their space, and not really just because it's your art. But you need the other person to come together so that you guys can do that.
Well, my art, I always shoot with people I really trust.
That's fantastic.
It's not like like you say, hey, I want to shoot you. I'm like, who are you? Like, do you have a cup of coffee? Do you I'm not like, what's your triggers? What are you afraid of? Like, what's going to say, hey, I don't feel okay here. I need to know that you're going to be good for the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the same reason I started working with Aaron, because that authenticity is everything. You know, when you connect on that level and you understand each other and you understand what the objective is, then you can move forward. So whether it's a model and a photographer or whether it's an artist and an artist, you have to have that. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are building such a huge brand, but everybody has something important to bring, and you guys are like really big pillars that help one another to create.
Absolutely.
It's
And
really
Nick
fantastic.
is one of our major
Oh,
glues as well.
she-
Yeah, we
she's-
should have Nick on next.
Nicole has been my muse for 20 years,
Wow.
my best friend in the world, and we started the journey when we were doing these, like when I started this whole journey 20 years ago. Nicole was front and centre with me and went on that journey, and was all those years in Japan. She would journey with me there, and we went on that path. And through that whole journey, she developed her own sense of like, because I mean, she's an artist in her own right. She's a choreographer, and dancer, and she's always been in the arts. She's a Bachelor of Arts and very clever girl, or woman.
Well, let's
And-
get
yeah,
her
so
on.
let's-
Here, come
yeah,
sit.
well, I'll move out. Or are you gonna?
All right, you're kind of covering me up here, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, all right. So, tell us
Hi.
about yourself and how you met.
It was actually beautiful to just sit there and listen to the story of these guys, because they have been a significant part of my life. For Colin, I think it's over 20 years.
Yeah.
So a lot more than
99.
20 years.
99.
And it feels like we're family. Like
Yeah.
the three of us do a lot together, and there's a deep amount of respect and trust. So we're a solid little triangle of trust. We complete faith in each other and what we're capable of, and we lift each other up to just do incredible things. So none of this Australian tall poppy syndrome that we have, where you see someone succeeding, you kind of knock them back down. these guys are just like my biggest cheerleaders.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
big
I've,
suck.
She's the
Love
same
you
for
too.
us. Because, we do have a culture in our country, unfortunately, that when somebody aspires to be something greater in life, not just about money, but just being, growing and learning, we tend to cut them down.
Yeah.
It happens here in America too. So that tall poppy thing. So that's what
yeah, it
Nicole's
doesn't
referring
exist
to.
in our culture of how we
But
choose
we
to
just push each other.
do life.
Yeah.
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 So I come from a dance background, so contemporary dance, and worked as a choreographer, had a dance studio, worked on some bigger productions, and always had a love of the arts and studied it in university and stuff like that. I've also got the other side of me is a very spiritual person, very tuned to energy healing and shamanic rituals and journeying and all that sort of side as well. So where I'm at the moment is merging those two worlds. So I've got, my other one is orgasms.
Yeah. Everybody loves that.
Once you get a good one, you're like, wow, let's recreate that, or let's improve that, or let's, and I just love the artistry of intimacy, and just the beauty of it. And I am drawn to sharing experiences with people, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that experiences it. I feel I am a bit unique. I see.
I think one of your unique things I've seen you do lately is give orgasms tangibility. So in regards to showing it visually with sound, or even when you did the sculptures with
we did a whole series of
the crystals and describing orgasms with various crystals and connecting them with body and form. You've always actualized the orgasm, which has been quite amazing.
It's a slight obsession.
Nicole,
It's a good obsession to have.
true healing. If I'm allowed to, I'll tell the story. But one of Nicole's experiences was she does a lot of work with sound bowls, and a lot of people do with sound and energy and vibration. And she had an experience that she had an orgasm just from the vibration of the bowl.
Wow.
And it was quite
it took me
profound
by
for her.
surprise because I didn't anticipate it.
Yeah.
That's amazing because I need a
Did you have your
very heavy
Weetabix?
vibration to get me to go. So
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
gong.
how big was this bowl?
It was the frequency of the bowl.
Okay.
And that's what got me into this curiosity of going what the fuck just happened? Because I was lying there and then I was like, there's this buzz and there was this hum that I was feeling in my body, and I was like, let's my angle myself this way so I might just get the full. I could actually physically feel how it was just moving through my body, and it was just insane. I kind of had a little look around to see if I could quietly just deal with it, and I was like, holy shit, and just experienced this full body orgasm, and was just left going, I have to understand what happened, because I wasn't thinking erotically. My body was just responding.
Is this what you were working with the
resonance.
guy in
Yeah.
Perth with? Because
Yeah.
you said he was trying to find a frequency that made men come.
No, that's
'Cause
another,
that-
that was
That's
long
that's
after.
that's
Because that's what you're working on
That's
right
that's
now.
another guy that we're working
Yeah.
with at the moment. Yeah,
because I'm not the only one that questions this. So there's
It's like the
I'm
old
finding
craftsman.
other people who are like, have this theory. I'm like, I know.
That's really cool though, because you have a vinyl that you've created an audio,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I wonder if you can find the noise that gets people off, because that's pretty cool.
I don't know if it's a personal thing or not,
Yeah.
but I'm experimenting. And the album it started off experimentally.
Well, so we had some people sitting down listening to your album today, two of which sat down next to each other, and we're in the middle of this crowded area with tons of people walking by. They put on the headphones, sitting there for about 2 minutes. She lifted off the chair and says, "I'm going to have an orgasm right now," and quickly handed me back the headphones and scattered out of the room, trying to find somewhere to go. And this happened not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Wow.
Yes, the other person put it on and said, I need to leave this room right now and get off. Literally, and I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
this is happening while I'm watching this.
Side A or side B?
Side A first.
Interesting.
Really?
So
Interesting.
side A is the more mellow one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
awakening.
so that one, I guess all of this has been designed, just a theory, like just me trying to understand how I work and how I'm experiencing frequencies, sounds, orgasms, all that sort of stuff. So my theory is I need to be in a really grounded space. Like my nervous system needs to be calm. I can't be in my head. I need to just be completely tuned into what I'm doing. So I've got sound frequencies, solfeggio frequencies that are just kind of like working from root chakras moving up over a 22-minute period. And then I've added in binaural beats, which are going to help just regulate, get your brain into a really calm state. And then I'm bringing in sounds of nature that are just going to just drop you into just this relaxation mode. And it sets the scene for like where my sexual journey began with like a beautiful woman. And it was like on a beach, Cable Beach, which is like an iconic place in Australia. And it was like the crickets, the waves, the beach, and then just this awakening in me of like, what the fuck? I've been with men all my life. Now it's like, what is this? And it was just a magnificent experience for me. And then it's obviously just continued. And so I've captured that element into the side A, and it's just like this awakening, and I want it to be really gentle and soothing with these sounds of pleasure that just waft through. So when I'm like relaxing, my whole body's receiving this erotic story, this kind of messaging that goes through, and it awakens me up as well. I didn't expect people to get off on that one. I just thought that when I listen to it, I can feel it moving through. Like I know what frequencies kind of where I feel it. I'm excited that someone got off on side A, because side B is more like,
Now I'll get you.
this idea of going into your subconscious, like going down this spiral staircase, going into like a cave, like in the deepest part of your fantasies, the stuff that you don't tell people about.
There, when you made the album, you wanted like this rock sound, like a rock door moving. Like you could, like she just put all these different elements, and you can hear a waterfall, and then this sliding of this big rock, like you were going down into a cave.
How long were you mixing it for?
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I
just
started recording maybe 5 years ago.
But when the mixing
so
we
it's
started,
been a journey.
because
She
A
used
year,
it was a year, was it?
8 months.
8 months.
we hooked up
Yeah.
with a very talented guy from Los Angeles who's done a lot of sound producing for various bands, and so he was like fully produced. Like it's not some backyard thing. It was.
I would
Well done.
love to have somebody listen to this album, but also like
Why not you?
with I know, but with like neurotransmitters on their head
Yeah.
to see like
Yes.
how the brain responds.
Exactly.
Oh, we have a guy that has that when we did the Sacred Central in Chicago.
Mm.
Can I interject for a second?
Yes.
One of my friends, he ran a psychosomatic theatre experience over 5 days, where you sit down with a psychologist, they go through anything that you want to change, then they connect you with 20 different practitioners and put you over a 5-day experience. You come out the other end different, but they wore them on top of the head the whole way through and had all the signals all recorded. It was crazy.
That is so cool.
Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, I would like to
So
know
it-
your album on the scientific level.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's all just me exploring theories and based on my own experiences.
Well, isn't that just science?
That
Yeah,
is
it's my
science.
science.
Humanity.
That's, yeah.
Human science.
And like Colin was saying, some of the exhibitions, we've had like experimental art spaces in Perth, and I've been developing this idea, but I'm not a sound technician by any means. So I was like on Audacity, just like tinkering around, I'll mix this, and this is the elements that I want. All right, let's try it out. So I'll give someone an experience, put a headset on them, and I did like Reiki, like just really gentle, not sensual touch, just we had I would say 90% cry rate.
Yeah, it was huge.
You know, you had people like, we had
Was
all
this-
ages,
Yeah.
predominantly women, but all ages were just like,
Was this the one where we had them sit in the chair
Yeah.
and there's a webcam facing them and they
Yeah.
projected to the
There's
audience
an
to watch it
experimental
all?
art space
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
created. We had this experimental art space that, to paint a picture, the floors were black, the walls were black, the ceiling was black. So you went into this
Almost like
void. Went into a
sensory
void.
deprivation
Yeah.
Yeah,
almost.
and then we projected onto the walls imagery. So we had a very high luminance projector that could actually project onto the walls. And it was just so different. When you project onto black rather than white, it creates a different feel.
But it was,
and
just
it was
good
really
seeing
immersive.
But everyone who was sat in the chair, they had a webcam facing them.
Yeah.
And their partner and everyone else in the audience can watch the
Could watch
facial
them.
reactions as they're listening to whatever they're listening or being touched sensually. And it was, everyone's just like, what the fuck? It was cool.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
And then, you know, to have the conversation, like the aftercare, so you bring them out and you're just like trying to help them process what they've experienced. And I'm like, obviously trying to gauge what's working, what's not working, because I'm tweaking this idea. And everyone was different. Everyone came out of it. They'd listened to the same track, but everyone came out with something that came up. Like one older lady was just like, I haven't felt this way. And she goes, I could not tell you how long. She goes, I'm alive. My skin's alive. My body's alive. And she was just like, you know, just gentle tears of just, this is beautiful. And
almost
she just
like
goes, sit to
life-changing
the
for her.
side and can you help organise a taxi to get me home? Absolutely. This is amazing. And another gay couple came in, and they were the first girl she's gone in, she's like, my God, you're going to love it. Like, this is amazing. And her partner's like, yeah, it's not my jam. And then after an hour, she goes, I think I'd like to try it. I said, sure. So she went in there, and she was a mess. Like, she got up. She just went out to another room. And we were following, and she said, you know, I think I had my hands on her shoulders, just on her head. It was just really gentle. And then before I left to kind of say, take your time, I just kind of kissed the top of her head. It was like, okay, I'm heading out now. And she had been rejected by her family when she came out. She was just, her whole sexuality was just, you know, rooted in trauma. And she said, I felt like I released all this trauma around my mother, my this, my that. And she said, and it was just in that moment, she goes, I don't need an apology. I don't need connection. She goes, I'm just feel fucking amazing. And I was like, and she goes, I feel loved. I feel this. I was like, wow, it's just done something amazing for, you know, it was just every person took something out of it. And it was only maybe a 6-minute, like,
Little
experience.
alchemist, you know, she just brewing.
So,
it.
and
The alchemy
we've had
of it is
different,
amazing.
like different people just contributing, psychiatrists and coming in and having a little chat and just talking about how it shifts and changes people. So I feel like we're onto something.
100%.
And I love hearing.
Oh, yeah,
I love how watching people
I mean-
experience it, you know. And I've got the 2 tracks today. I was watching 2 girls sitting side by side. One was on side A, one was on side B. Side A was like this, just like she's passed out on the couch, and side B's like this. And I was going like, like, do you guys want to swap tracks? Because it allows people to tap into their creativity and their imagination. You know, a lot of porn's very visual, and you what you see is what you get, and you're like, that's great. For men, I think that's
It's
great.
very visceral, whereas
Women,
the
I
sound
think
of-
I don't know, we have imaginations and creativity, and we just want to just use it. Let
Well,
us
you look
use
at
it.
erotic novels.
That's exactly what I was
The
going to
erotic
say.
novel is synonymous with females. Like, women love erotic novels, and because
Getting
you've
kidnapped
got,
by a centaur.
he's always got to bring the dark.
Not dark, it's just what they're about. You read women's novels?
It is
They're crazy, man.
It's true, yeah. But the whole point is, you know, the whole aspect, I think, is the creativity in the female brain versus male brain, of how you can imagine. You know, we're a very visceral creature, so we need to see things, and so I think in this space, the sound has enormous potential.
Well, there's a discussion we've been having lately is about one of our next shows being around these sort of topics, and it was about saturation versus depression. And I wanted to make a room that's a whole room where there's small screens like this, but the entire room is just every single porn you can think of in small blocks coating the entire room.
Wow.
So you go into that intense moment, and then when you step out of it, you go into a completely different side of sensuality. So each room is like, again, gates of sensuality. And this is why we're going to take different rooms and try and create these multi-sensory exhibitions.
Yeah.
You know, like from sculpture to photographs to
Yeah. I
sound.
want people to
so,
feel again, like
Yeah.
really
That's what it's
immerse
about,
themselves
exactly,
in
feeling.
art, and not just art, but just life. Like
Yeah.
just
This is a burner art piece if I've ever heard.
I
one.
know. I was
Yeah.
literally.
It is. It's a cultural shift. It's
No,
a cultural
100%,
shift.
Yeah.
You know, when Nicole started this, like, I'm old enough to understand and know the record industry in the dinosaur, but
What
Richard,
kids don't understand these days. Here we go.
Richard
Fuck
Branson, you know, the Virgin
Yeah.
Records, right? He had an artist called he had an album, called Tubular Bells by
I know who it is.
Mike
Yeah,
Oldfield.
the other one, Halloween song, right?
Yeah, and it was like just bells and like I'm a 16, 17-year-old at the time when it came out. And we're all into heavy metal and Led Zeppelin and everybody I knew had this album, Tubular Bells. And it was just sounds of bells and chimes and it was phenomenal. It went over the whole entire planet. And it set the Virgin Group, set it on its rise to the top, its meteoric rise. Like he was one of the biggest selling artists that Virgin had on their label. And I said to Nick when she created this, I said, this is a Tubular Bells. This is, I really honestly believe that this could sweep over the whole world as a cultural shift in sound energy. Because sound is so important to all of us.
My tubes
Like,
rebel.
like you know, what,
Her
like
album will chart.
I believe it will. I said to her, you'll have a million-selling album. Like this thing's going to go nuts.
I mean, like,
In a time when you can't sell albums, you know, it's like
It's gonna be sample.
it's crazy.
that's what I was thinking. I'm like underneath EDM, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, this song is making me feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that build up. Yeah.
Yeah, the mix.
I like
You
that
could put
nobody
the
else
mix
heard
in.
that.
That's what I was literally thinking while she was saying
When
that,
she's
I'm like,
talked about that, adding to the mix, you know, finding the right person that she could collab with to.
You're
to
gonna
do that.
revolutionize music, whether you know about it or not. Like
Yeah.
truly, like somebody's gonna get a hands on your record, and
I believe that. Yeah, 100%.
It's like our next EDM, you know, we're gonna be
For sure.
Everybody's like, yeah, you know, I feel love,
yeah.
and I feel the need to just
Good.
Well,
Good.
once you hit,
Hug it out.
when you hit
You're 20,000 people having an orgasm at one time.
If you hit 128 beats per minute, it's when your
Yeah.
heart starts to beat up to a certain point to where your serotonin starts to kick in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've actually definitely tapped into
Yeah.
it in more of a
It's on that
primal
way.
sense.
Did you figure that with your
Yeah.
Apple Watch just doing this?
Yeah.
Did you get in the right pace, you know?
That's why I love this
Oh,
guy.
he's blushing. It's true.
I mean, I do wear the Apple Watch, but no, I'm a righty.
Yeah, I got my steps in.
I'm a righty.
Your album's gonna have a warning label. Don't listen while driving.
Exactly.
Yeah. I always listen to it driving.
I'm dexterous versions of us. I'm dexterous. I don't know, like, you know, I'm right.
I'm loyal.
One of the guys that bought the album yesterday came back to tell me that he'd gone to the gym this morning.
Oh yeah, they're very good.
And he goes, I downloaded it and I thought, you know, when am I going to listen to this? And he goes, oh, just put it on at the gym. And he goes, fuck me. I go, was it good? He goes, yes. He goes, it was a solid workout. I felt so good. And someone else is listening and they goes, did you not get a bit? He goes, the best part was trying to contain everything and hold it in. And he goes, oh, I fucking loved it. Excellent. Yeah.
I wonder what you
Just harness,
said
keep
like
it in.